The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Welcome to the Kisumu edition of the Great Debaters Contest. We continue our focus on the Sustainable Development Goals. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Our motion today is products should be taxed according to their environmental and social print. We have Orero boys going against Nyamira girls. Mariam, who's going to knock it out of the ballpark?
Can't tell, Austin. We'll let them answer that. First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Mugana Miriam. I'm from Nyamira Girls High School. Products should be taxed according to their environmental and social footprint. Products, a commodity offered for sale. For example, we have alcohol, cigarettes, clothes, and many others. Tax, money paid to the government other than for services. Footprint, ecological or environmental impact of human activity and machines. Companies or commodities geographical market presence. I'm not sober, Orero, I'm not sober. I'm not sober because I've taken something. Products such as alcohol should be taxed highly because of their negative environmental and social impact. Have you not heard of the Nyeri drinking spree? Or you're among the people who sleep on both their 2 ears, like fools? No, I don't do that, because I sleep on one, and I leave the other one to listen. What happened? People went blind. People got blind because of alcohol. Most of the accidents around here they're because of alcohol. And do you know why? Because drivers are driving while they're drunk. Yet they also warned, do not drink and drive. This is why I'm urging the government, please try as much as you can, highly tax these products. Have you not also seen parents fighting, unnecessary fightings in the house? Students not going to school because of parents fighting? Not only because of that, their parents using that money to buy alcohol. They prefer the bottle. They prefer the bottle instead of that child going to school. Environmental impact, tobacco, cigarettes. In this crowd, for example, if I remove my cigarette, which I don't have, I puff it. Will you not cover your nose unless the smell is sweet? Will you? Tobacco health causes a lot. And do you know, it causes 5 million deaths annually, which rises from various diseases, heart, lung cancers. Smoking causes discoloration of fingernails, the teeth, the lips. For example, if I were a handsome guy, I will not obviously talk to a girl or a woman who has discolored teeth, discolored lips, and discolored fingernails. It would be an ugly scene. I wouldn't. Will you? This is why I'm urging the government, please highly tax these products, highly tax these harmful products. And according to CDC of 2016, passive smokers suffer more than the active smokers. Do you know why I say this? I'm a victim. I smoke daily, most of the time, daily. Do you know why? My father smokes. My father smokes. And therefore, I'm urging the government, products should be taxed according to the environmental and social footprint. Thank you.
Opposition, we'll hear your opening statement. You have 3 minutes.
One of the greatest entrepreneurs, Richard Branson, once said, during flood seasons, the wise used to build bridges, but the fool used to dig dams. Please kindly help me through this journey of constructing this bridge of facts and truth. I have this strong conviction to oppose this particular motion that states products should be taxed according to their social and environmental effect. I'm sure and certain before any product has been given the license of compliance or the certificate by the government has a role to check if that particular product or that farm that produced that product is according to the 5 principles of taxation. So why do you come again and ask me to pay more tax? Imagine. Again, another thing. When these particular products are highly taxed, it deters foreign investors to come and invest in our country. Is that the country we need? When these particular products are being highly taxed, some business look for opportunities and avenues so that they can maximize their profit. They lay off some of their staffs. And imagine of that mama who sits there at home, comes back, she's sacked. Is that the Kenya we all of you need? We need a Kenya that grows. Remember, we should not judge a rose by the thorns it bears. We should also look the other side of the beauty and the scent of that particular rose. And as my beautiful sister was saying, that when people consume alcohol, they go blind. Remember, that is changa and it is illegal. I just want to beseech you, ladies. You have the will. You have the will and the power to cross over and make this bench colorful. You have that will. Please, remember one thing. A growing nation, consider some facts. We need to build this nation as the tax itself, the history of taxation says, taxation is basically freedom and justice. Making me lose my job, is it justice? That is not the government. I know. Jason O. Lawia from Orero High School. Thank you.
Cross-examinations now. Proposers, you have 3 minutes.
Tresioga Nyamira girls. Foreign investors will always invest, regardless of the rate of taxation. After all, doesn't our currency compare to the strength of their products, of their currencies? Does it not? Freedom and justice has been defined by my brother over there. Freedom and justice cannot be compared to taxation. Taxation is a crime. Taxation is an offense. Especially, think of these in terms of geographical market presence. Think of Trans Nzoia. Think of maize. Maize in Trans Nzoia County, according to the Obare Osinde's report of 2017 in the Standard newspaper, Trans Nzoia County produces about 5 million bags of maize, over 100,000 hectares of land. Why are we taxing these people who produce maize at a higher price as compared to those who receive it from other localities? Why can't we be just, fair and just, as is freedom has been defined? Think of the KCC, the Kenya Cooperative Creameries. They're based in Eldoret. They specialize in milk and their products like ghee and etc. Why should they tax highly? Why should their commodities sell at a higher price as compared to those of other localities which are not producers of milk and its products? Why? We want to encourage more farmers into producing milk. We want to encourage more farmers into producing maize. So I stand strongly to propose the motion that products should be taxed according to the environmental and social footprint. Take the example of fish in the lake region, as we are all in the lake region. Fish is just but a stone's throw away from here. Why should the farmer, why should the fisherman be taxed at a high rate? Or why should the market value of fish in Kisumu be high as compared to that in Nairobi? The person in Nairobi is supposed to purchase this fish at a higher rate, apparently. Why? We are supposed to encourage more fish farming in this region. We're supposed to empower the market in this region. Tax as much as you can, so that why? The business can grow. So that why? Our economy can be sustainable in these regions. We have thousands of youths who are jobless. Why are we standing here opposing such a motion? What is wrong with you? Listen to the voice of reason. Listen to my voice. Kindly cross over and join me.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, my instinct gives me a strong conviction to stand before you at this moment to take a brave head-on collision with the motion and try to bring the inverse of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to get convinced and know it right from the word go, that taxation in our country, particularly Kenya, has brought and has swept away the reason for which Kenyans are working hard. Taxation is trying to do away with the reason and the explanation of what hard work means. When one wants to tax that old man at a higher rate because of the impact of what commodity he brings into the market, and then you try to tell him that that is on the basis of encouraging hard work in him, or maybe for him to buy the same product at a higher price having been taxed, what are you going to tell to this man? Instead, you think that you are encouraging hard work in him. What you're doing in him is only telling him that he is no longer fit for the society. And the market prices do not accept his ability. So let us get to know that taxation is trying to sweep away the meaning of what real hard work means. And 2, taxation is going to paint our government with the blame of discouraging foreign investment in this nation. What the government has to understand at this moment is that we are only trying to postpone problems that are going to catch up with us in the next minute. And that is no lasting solution to any problem. Taxation, I stand firm to say, it's not going to be a lasting solution to any of our problems. Say it may be trying to control the kind of products that we have in the market. Let us get to know that when a farm is moving into the market, for it to obtain a certificate of compliance, the government must be aware of what product is going to be produced by this farm. And to that extent, the government should always take a step at the point of inception of such a farm, that when it is a commodity or a production process that is going to negatively harm the social lives of the citizens and even the environment of this country, let the government step in and stop the beginning of that business at that point, rather than coming in later after allowing a business to start its prospection in our economy, then telling it to walk out of the country. Last year, at around June, it was going around in the media that a Canadian mineral company, a mining company, was trying to do its prospection in Kwale County, having gained a certificate of compliance from the government. But then the society around the place could not let it go on. Why? Because they felt that its effects were not going to work for them. So instead of the government coming in with with chipping in with taxation as a means of controlling such companies moving into our economy, let the government stop them at inception and tell them that that is not the right way to go. Let us understand that the government will only postpone problems by introducing taxation to us. Thank you.
Proposition, you have been asked, how does increasing tax on certain products help our economy at the end of the day? And the opposition have been asked, if we do not tax certain products like alcohol and cigarettes highly, won't young people under the age of 18 have access to them? We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
In front of you is Jael Colleen from Nyamira Girls High School. The question posed was, how does high taxing help the economy? You've made work easier for me because actually that's my first point. What we're trying to say is the government, it's not going to tax, let's say basic commodities like, let's say maize flour, wheat, rice, which are very necessary for the manpower of the people, energy, for them to get energy. What you're trying to say is that these products which are not helping the environment. They're not helping the country. Let's take, for example, alcohol, as you have been told. What we're trying to say is those are the things that should be highly taxed to discourage people from purchasing them. And that money that you're using to purchase them, they can use it to develop the country. I beg that you kind of understand what you're trying to say. We're not saying that they should not tax these things. On to my first point. We have the locally produced products like clothes. In Kenya, we had Kikomi, which is Kisumu Cotton Manufacturing Textile. But where is it? Kikomi is dead. Kikomi is dead. I can remember when I was young, I was 9 years old. I had an uncle, and he used to work in Kikomi. You know, as you see the machines move, you're like, wow, one day I also want to go and work there and make those things move like that. But when I joined Form 1, I said, like, as I'm traveling back to school to go to Bondo, I'll pass through Kikomi and see how those things normally work. But going there, I'm finding, like, Kikomi is dead, Kikomi is no more. Where has it gone to? The importation of products, clothes, the mitumba. Even in the Standard, it quoted by an article on March 16th, 2016. The headline was, Mitumba ban will boost the local farms. Take, for instance, the industries. If there was not this mutumba, which are imported in Kenya, but the local industry like Kikom, they wouldn't have died. Because people are they majorly depend on those second-hand clothes. If the government tax these mitumba clothes, they overtax them, not even tax them highly only, they overtax them, they'll discourage the manufacturers from those other countries from bringing them to the country, which will enable the local people, the local industries to rise, boosting our economy. Because remember, as those mutumba will be brought here, they'll only be boosting their economy because the income and some of the profit, they'll be repatriated back to their countries. On to my second point. For a developing country, we need energetic people. You cannot take a lazy person there to go and work. No, we need energetic people. If the country can lower the tax for the basic commodities, they'll be able to help us. Remember, statistics has it that 70% of the people are the working class. The 15%, some of them are those who are invalid, those are the old, and the children. But remember, like, if we tax those basic commodities lower, these basic commodities I'm saying are things like wheat, maize flour, rice, cooking oil. If we tax them at a lower price, even that common mama who goes door to door to watch clothes for other people so as to get an income will be able to purchase. That's why I strongly propose that products should be taxed according to their environmental and social footprints. Thank you.
Gentlemen, we'll hear your response. You have 3 minutes.
I'm Jacob Orero from Orero Boys High School, and I'm here to act as a friction force to the motion. Products should be taxed according to their social and environmental footprints. To start with answering your question, when you tax a product lowly, a product like alcohol or cigarette, it won't be available to any child under the age of 18. Let me give you an example from an advertisement. Imara kama Simba. Then it goes ahead to say, alcohol should not be sold to children under the age of 18. It is a provision by the Constitution, first thing first. The proposers have talked about over-taxation. You want to overtax somebody. The same person you gave a certificate of compliance to start a business. Aren't you killing that person's dream? You are not only taxing him so high, but you are overtaxing that person. Now let me go to my point. When you tax a product higher than another one, don't you think you are encouraging overproduction of a particular product? You want to tax maize lowly because maize has a positive effect on the society. Yes, we don't refuse that fact. But what is going to become of a production of maize, the surplus maize that we produced? What are you going to do to them? Are we going to pour them out like we did to milk? Tell me. Food of thought. Don't you think you're not being fair to these businessmen? Don't you think? You're not being fair. And when this business will fail, it will have it to blame on the government that, you know what, I never flourished. I never had that opportunity to grow and develop since the government decided to tax me so high. Because you know what? I manufacture cigarettes. I manufacture alcohol. The same person who gave me a go-ahead to manufacture that alcohol came and told me, you know what? Alcohol is bad to our society. Cigarette causes has adverse effects on the environment. So you know what, Mr. Man? You are going to be taxed high. Lastly, I want to say this. I want to take you through some statistics. According to Wikipedia, the World Bank says this, that Kenya is at 67%, 6.7% of its economy, compared to 3 years back when it was 5.4%. And let me quote something that the compiler says, that Kenya is the country to watch in Africa. So what is going to become of these people who are going to overtax, as it is said? What is going to become of them? Are you going to reduce our increase in economy, since you want to argue that what I produce has adverse effects on the environment and the society at large? Food of thought. Think of that.
Thank you. Final thoughts. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
Again, I stand in front of you, Jail Colleen from Nyamira Girls High School. The opposer, one of them, you say that we'll be killing the dreams of these people who are making these products. Let's say, for example, cigarette. Now, let me tell you one thing. As reported, as New York Times City at San Francisco in the UK applies 20% tax on cigarette purchase. Why do they do this? And this is used to help cover $10.7 million. The city spent every year on removing cigarette butts from the street. Let's just be logic. Will you be happy? You're seeing you're going to school. Then there's this boy in the street who cannot go to school because the father is a drunkard, and all the money the father gets goes to alcohol. Will you be happy? Let's just think of that. But if the government tax these products which are not, they're negative in the country, they don't help us with anything. See, if they tax these things, they'll be able, if in a higher tax, they'll be able to reduce the purchasing power of these things. And all I have to say is, let's just be realistic and think. Will you allow that boy not to go to school because of the father? But if they increase the tax, the father will be forced not to go and purchase because all the money will be finished. With that, I close my thanks.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you once more is Amos Rolex from Orero High School. And I want to correct my opponent at first, that we should get to understand that it is not going to be a wise government's duty to go around the country doing collection of cigarette materials that are wasted on the environment. If it is an effective government that was appointed by the people, it should be a government that provides, as it is done in Kenya, provides for a specific smoking zone in which smokers can go and do all that they desire to do. After which, all the remains of cigarettes are left at that point. The government's duty will only to be walk and go into such zones and pick such materials quite easily. So let us get to understand that. And two, if you look at what taxation is bringing to our country, taxation is trying to point out to us that people should be doing better. But economy and the study of statistics on what per capita income is not effective in the country Kenya right now. Why? Because people are trying to strain to gain more and more to pay just for the tax that is introduced on goods. So if you want to gain a per capita income that is going to show a true people who we are, what ability Kenyans have, let us avoid excessive taxation on goods so that we can be a people who are sincere to themselves. Thank you.
I felt that you kind of focused more on the social impact, and there was a bit of neglect on the environmental impact. I would have loved to hear some discussions on companies that, for example, are excavating the land, or companies that are emitting pollution into the air. What are the effects from the environmental aspect of that? For the girls, Tracy, you were very, very powerful and passionate. Same to Jael and Marianne. Great delivery. Just make sure that you couple your passion with facts. Make sure that when you are arguing out a point, it's not so emotional, but it also has facts to back it up. For the guys, once again, great delivery for all the speakers. And I think, good mastery of language, and congratulations.
Jael, you creatively evaded the question you asked. You didn't go back to it. We wanted to hear what comes of that particular question, and something so important was coming out of it. Mugenda, thank you because of the definitions. Chadson from Orero, thank you because you went to the definitions and you tried to show that what comes out of it is impact. But all along, I want to say we did not live to attach the impact with the level of tax as it's expected. I want us to note that the Orero boys stood at a point of disadvantage, but you tried, and congratulations to you all.
Straight to the results. Nyamira Girls High School, you were awarded 69%. Please give them a round of applause. Orero High School, the judges awarded you 70%. You're our winners for the debate.
Congratulations to Orero boys, and of course, a good job to both teams on stage. Thank you at home for watching. Give us your feedback on social media at Great Debaters EA. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.